are some English people who were under the impression that that's how Americans were going to feel about the World Cup. And like, I don't know where you got that idea, but I know you didn't get it in reality.
This is the biggest sports event of the entire world.
I saw a couple videos like this last night of people who had traveled from abroad to the United States to come watch the World Cup, and they're like surprised that Americans are not excited about the World Cup. We're not promoting it. No Americans are watching it. There's no Americans going to the games. You know, they go to the stadium and it's like really exciting at the stadium, and then they leave and there's like no one in this particular American city that's like celebrating or had gone to or paying attention to the game or whatever. And like, these videos are genuinely surprising to me because Americans don't play soccer, right? Like, soccer is not part of our culture. Soccer is a children's game in the United States. That's not saying that like children would be able to compete in the World Cup, or that soccer is easy or something like that. It's just saying that the only time an American has ever gone to a soccer game is to go watch their kids play, right? Like, it's just not part of the culture here. And I thought that was pretty common knowledge. Like, that's not a secret. That's been true the entire time, right? Like, there has never been a time in American culture where soccer was like a big sport. In fact, like, there's often like TV shows and comedians and movies that are making jokes about the fact that Americans don't pay attention to soccer and the rest of the world loves soccer. There was a whole TV show just a couple years ago. It was called Ted Lasso. And the whole premise of the show was an American football coach's career has fallen so low that he's reduced to moving to England to help coach a soccer team. And he doesn't know anything about soccer, and he's like constantly having to check the rule book on how the game even works. But like the show makes a big deal out of the whole premise itself is supposed to be funny. The idea, like us Americans watching this TV show, the idea of an American coaching soccer like on its own was like the joke, right? Because like it's just not part of our culture, and like that's not been a secret. And I am like genuinely surprised at how many people didn't know that, because like I feel like that was kind of like a big thing about a big fun fact about America is that like we don't watch soccer. I don't even know. I literally do not even know if we have a national league in the United States. I assume we must, because we have a World Cup team, and I know that the women's team does pretty good. And I think the American women won the Women's World Cup at some point, but I don't remember even what year it was or where they played. Like it's, but I feel like we've been pretty clear about that the whole time. And I get why like people are annoyed by it, because they shelled out all this money to travel to the United States, stay at a hotel, get these crazy expensive tickets, and it's kind of a lame experience because they go and they watch the game and it's exciting at the game, and then they leave the stadium and whatever city they're staying in is like, why are you here? The world what? And so that makes it like less exciting. But also I feel like you shouldn't feel surprised about that either, because like FIFA does not exist for the good of the game. FIFA does not exist to like promote and improve soccer. FIFA exists to exploit your love of soccer to extract money from you. Like, that's the whole point of FIFA, right? The whole entire point, right? Like, everything else they have to do is shit that they don't want to do, that they have to do the one thing they want to do, which is prey on your love of soccer to get you to open up your wallet. So I don't know why people thought like this was going to be a fun experience going to the World Cup, where they have to pay exorbitant amounts of money in a country that like literally just soccer is not even part of the culture here. But I was like really surprised at how many people were surprised to learn all that.
There's just not a lot of hype, I'm gonna be honest. I thought like this was gonna be the biggest thing. Everywhere you go, you're gonna...
Why would you think Americans would be excited for the World Cup? Why would you think this? Like, soccer is not part of our culture. Famously so. Americans do not play soccer. We never have. There was never a period of time that we were a soccer country. Thinking Americans would be excited about the World Cup just because it's here is like thinking that if Major League Baseball moved the World Series to Dublin, Irish people would all of a sudden really value baseball. It's like thinking that like if the GAA decided to have like a hurling tournament in Rio de Janeiro, all of a sudden Brazilians would become big hurling enthusiasts. It makes no sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's very cool that people from all over the world are coming to visit. If you can get past the Imperial stormtroopers at the customs shack, but like nobody is going to care about the game, because why would they? What could have made you think that they would?
Right by the stadium where a lot of games are going to be played, nothing.
I am genuinely surprised at how many people are just now learning that soccer is not part of the culture in the United States. It never has been part of the culture in the United States, and I feel like that's common knowledge. Like, internationally, that is common knowledge, right? Like, Americans talk a lot about how, oh, soccer looks fun, but it has nothing to do with us. Soccer is a children's game in the United States. That's not saying that I think soccer is easy or that, like, kids could go play in the World Cup. I'm just saying that the only time an American has ever gone to see a soccer game is to go watch their kids play at school. And that's like been true the entire time. Like, there's never been a time in American history when soccer was part of the culture. In fact, just a couple of years ago, there was a TV show, it was called Ted Lasso, that was like a whole TV show that the premise of it was an American football coach. His career has fallen so low that the only job he can get is moving to England and being a coach on a soccer team in the UK. And like the premise alone is supposed to be funny, which it is, because like we don't know anything about soccer, and like there's a running joke throughout the whole show that he's got like a rule book and he's reading it, and I'm not saying that like everybody would have seen this show, but I'm saying like it's not a secret. We're not shy about it. It's like you could have done one Google and found out that like, oh, Americans do not watch the World Cup and never have. Like, it has nothing to do with our culture. Looks like a fun game. Don't get me wrong. Looks fun. But like these videos of people like, I am genuinely surprised that America is not excited for the World Cup. It's the exact same thing as like if they held the World Series in London next year and me going to London and being like, I can't believe people don't care about baseball. Like it's what?